5.
Yeah. Tell them I'm a winner. Yeah. The believer.
Give thanks, so when me I bleed. Set speed, I carry on now. Big man in town, them shoulda know say me I keep it crown. Yeah. Plant seeds, work feed. We enough of them want ready born. When the food gone so long, them run. And them can't be found. Still man fight the fight, me not give in. Day and night, me keep on building. Way of life, me breathe out, breathe in. Oh, 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 oh. Tell them I'm a winner, yeah. Not pop down, not Joe, not turn in a sinner. Oh, man, still a believer. Even if me get knocked down, me keep the bounce. Now see me front, you got me from a little and I grow. Come on, a winner, yeah. Still a believer.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Friday with the Fellas. We got James J Train Martin in the house. Sonja, I don't know what she's doing piercing over there.
Yeah, I was waiting to start my show, and you started talking. So I was like,
What?
"Can you guys see me?
Yeah,
Can y'all see me?"
you.
We see you now.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to Friday with the Fellas. I am your host here, Sonja, with the guys, of course. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Hope everybody's had a great day. I was setting up all the back stuff and trying to actually get the stream shared out. So we are here. We are live. And of course, we're celebrating Bistrilla all this week as well. So happy birthday to him. And happy 4th to everybody that's coming in. Bistrilla, what is that you're putting up here? I want to make sure I can.
That's our good old friend Abe. He's just here to bang.
Yeah, the fireworks are really bad right now over here. So I've got a pup that's shaking everywhere. So it's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I've tried to sedate him a little early on, but looks like
him barking
worn off. All right. So anyway, you guys, tonight we're gonna, of course, wish everybody a happy 4th. And thank you to Bistrilla and J Train for your service, who ensure that those freedoms are still protected even to this day, for your service in our U.S. military, the Navy and the Army, respectively. So come one, come all. And we are here tonight. We're going to be talking about, it's a little bit of a lull in sports right now, except before we get into everything, Strilla is our NHL person. And he is always up on NHL and everything. And yesterday, when we had our No BS show, and thanks for all the likes, loves, and shares on that show, he pointed out that for the first time, NHL is making history by selecting more African-American players than ever before. So Strilla verbalized that a little bit for us.
Well, first of all, it's not just African-Americans. It's just more people of color, okay?
Oh.
Just remember that everybody in hockey is not, every black person in hockey is not African American. Some of them can be African Canadians. Some of it can be from even Africa itself, or they can be from France. It doesn't, those are,
that is true.
They're just people of color just in the draft. It's I don't remember how many they said. I think it was like about, you know what?
I saw
think
like
it's cool.
9 on a picture.
I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a person I like to hype on that kind of stuff because
first of all, be the norm.
It should be the norm,
right?
And people like to point out that kind of stuff. And I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see more people of color get into hockey, because this is everybody's sport.
There you go. Let's be fair. I think, to be honest with you, when I was coming up as a kid, there was no hockey rinks where I was. And so I didn't have any interest in playing hockey or let alone watching it. So I would say this is probably predominantly, a sport where it's colder, where it's probably more Caucasians are there. It's just, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so, like you said, I agree. I think it's being introduced more to other cultures, and a lot of people are playing now. More people are playing now that are of color. So not a big deal.
We still dedicate all of our shows to our friend, our late great producer John McGrath. And as we continue to transpose things on our network platforms, we are still carrying the name National Streaming Sports for all intents and purposes, at least when we give a shout out. But we are making changes, so just stay tuned for us on our platforms and our YouTube channels, respectively, so that you too can be in the know where we are and how you can get to see us. I mean, that's a really good point, guys. I mean, it's something that should be the norm, but it is something that worth celebrating. Unfortunately, we have to celebrate it because it is one of the first. And so in recognizing that, I mean, after all, I always say, even though you, myself, or none of us may care about certain things, if they make headlines, somebody cares about them. This was actually something that made headlines. And so that's where we are. And kudos to them. Now, tonight, we are going to be talking extensively about the NFL. Most of us all like that topic. We got a lot of rookie quarterbacks that are now in their second year of their rookie contract. And so we're going to talk about those rookie quarterbacks that came in last season, the overall performance from them from last season, and what they possibly could bring to the table this season if there's any maturation and acclimation since the last time we saw them snap it down. So I'm going to actually start with our panel and let everybody talk about their respective quarterback that they have or they're getting, and what that looks like. Strilla, I'll start with you because you have the highest record here as far as closest to the Super Bowl of all of us. Let's talk about, first of all, I know the Lions quarterback is not a rookie per se, but what are the performances that you look for in your team going into the next season? And then let's talk about the quarterbacks that are in your specific division that are in their second year of their rookie quarterback. We'll talk about those specifically as soon as you give us the viewpoint from your team.
So do you want me to give like where I think they're going right now, the team itself or the quarterback?
Yeah, not necessarily a win-loss, but I mean, we are now 2 weeks away from the preseason training, like the real training. And a month from now, we'll be in the preseason and kicking off the regular season soon thereafter. So football is in the air.
Well, in approximately 27 days, the Lions will be playing the Chargers in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. Hall of Fame weekend.
I believe that, of course, the Lions will probably have early training camp because of such, as well as the LA Chargers. And I mean, we got a different coordinator. We have two different coordinators, and we have a different center that's going to start this year. Now, a lot of people have been talking about that and made that a big focal point and talking about the Lions are going to step back. Yeah, they're going to step back because, one, they got a hard division that they play in right now. Minnesota, Chicago, and Green Bay are all playoff threats. They also play a number one schedule too. So they play the NFC East and the AFC North. Those are two tough divisions they had to play in. So I don't see them getting 15 wins this year either. Like I didn't see them getting 15 wins last year. They surprised me, but I was close, 14-3. But however, I don't see them getting 14-3 this year either. I see them getting like about 12 wins at the most, 10 at the least. They still have a good team around what they have. They still have all the players that they had last year. In fact, a lot of players are coming back from the defense that were hurt. Aiden Hutchinson, one of them. They should be fine. I'm always going to point to, everybody's hyping on the difference of the coordinators. But just remember last year, Philadelphia had two different coordinators than they had the year before. They also lost their center, their all-pro center to retirement, and they made the Super Bowl. So I don't know what's the difference here. But anyway, I don't say – this is the year they need to get in the Super Bowl, though. They do. This is their fifth year under Dan Campbell. They need to get to the Super Bowl. Win or loss, they need to get there.
Okay. J-Train, I'll let you start second since you are I just try to always let my co-panelists go first.
Well, the New Orleans Saints definitely have a second-year quarterback, and he's not. He's kind of under the radar. He's a little bit flying a little bit under the radar because he wasn't highly touted. He wasn't highly drafted. He was highly touted out of high school. Was the number one quarterback and started in Oklahoma. Got himself booted out by a quarterback that was drafted the same year as him and Caleb Williams, and went to South Carolina and did some things there with limited ragtag players, but one of his best players was happens to be your own Xavier Legette. Uh, so I'm talking about none other than Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, to me, will be under the radar. He is a dog, I think, and I think that he had a little bit of bad luck as a rookie. They had no starters surrounding him, none whatsoever, except Kamara. Kamara even got hurt. And so it was just guys off the street, Dante Pettis, names like that, Kevin Austin Jr., names you have not heard of. And MVS off the streets was their best receiver. And it just, he went 0-6 in his time as a starting quarterback. But now you got a deep offensive line surrounding him. You got a healthy Chris Olave, a healthy Rashid Shaheed. You got a healthy Alvin Kamara. We got a special running back in Kendre Miller, and also the running back we drafted. We got a steal in the 6th round with Devin Neal out of Kansas. I think Spencer Rattler has an excellent rebound second year in the NFL, and he's going to surprise people. Even with the drafting of Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck is projected to be the starting quarterback, but sometimes people don't realize that when you draft a quarterback, maybe you're not drafting them to be the starter. Maybe you're drafting them to see what you can get out of the guy that you already have in the building to give him competition. And so there's a possibility that that's what they're doing. And for what I've been saying, in all intents and purposes, it looks like Spencer Rattler has been showing that he looks a lot better. And again, I'm always going to refer to B. Strilla saying, and I agree with him, that this is OTAs, this is minicamp. There's not everybody looks good throwing it in those times when nobody's coming and trying to sack them. Nobody's trying to pause. Nobody's trying to you're not getting any pressure.
Without pads.
With that said, without pads. But with that said, I still like Spencer Rattler to be projected as a starter, even if he doesn't make it throughout the whole season. I like him to be a lot better than he was last year.
Okay. Well, you guys know for me, sorry, I'm just making sure this all gets shared. I think I just shared the last. Hello, Pink Fan First. She says hello, and she says happy birthday to B. Strilla.
Thank you, Pink Panther.
Now, let's talk about my team. Then we'll go into everybody, all these other second-year rookies. And good evening to everyone coming in, Rochelle as well, and those who are not speaking but are watching. We're saying greetings to you as well. Listen, the Panthers literally are expecting Bryce Young to have a resurgence. No, he's not a second year. This is his third year. And so he started out the second year rough, just like he did the first year. In fact, last year, he ended up losing his position to Andy Dalton. When Andy goes down with his thumb injury, then we see Bryce come back. In my opinion, that was the best sabbatical that Bryce could have had. I don't like to use the word benching, especially not with someone who literally, you could tell he really cared about being in the game. Now, if it's these players that we see don't really give a care, you're getting benched. Bryce got a sabbatical. He got a second chance after, and then let's be clear, this accident Dalton had was very minor. However, we started seeing Bryce come back and make dynamic plays. He made plays when they looked impossible. He used what normally people criticize, which was his size, as an advantage for himself. He made plays that a taller or bigger quarterback couldn't have made. I watched him scramble and duck and dodge sacks all season long. Like he literally ducked, crawled under, avoided, what have you, something that a quarterback that was taller would not have been able to do. So he used his size that people, and including myself, have talked about to be more advantageous for him. With that being said, it literally looked like we had an offensive awakening, and I am still riding that same, wave going into this new season. There's no time for setbacks. Week 10, I believe it was, or week 11, he was slated as the top performing quarterback of that week in the league. He outperformed everybody. So with that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing the same type of rhythm coming into this next season. Of course, Chuba Hubbard came in as a definitive running back one for him, which was really good for him. And that really helped their offense, having Chuba there, having Coker, having a lot of people. Even though we still seem to struggle at times, there was a lot of potential in the backfield that looks like it's going to be better for this season. So crucial year 3, like I said, all eyes are going to be on him from the South to every division that has to play our Panthers. We did get a wide receiver boost with signing T-Mac. T-Mac is going to be a big boost for him with the top pick in the draft, number 8 that we had. That was our first pick this year. And so he's a big body. So that's going to be really good for Bryce, who is not a big body. And he's already been named a true wide receiver. So that's going to be really big coming into our offense. We've been looking for a true wide receiver for many years. I don't know. We, especially after the trade to Chicago of DJ Moore, it was downhill after that. So we're also looking for Xavier Legette to look a little better. He's one of these second year rookies. He's got to hold on to these catches. He can't, he's got to secure these catches. If he puts as much focus into catching the ball as he did all these derbies and horseback riding and frying possum, we're going to be good to go. And we prioritize strengthening our O-line around Xavier Legette and with getting T-Mac and Bryce, of course. I don't know if you guys can hear that in my background. I hope not. But anyway.
It is what it is.
You guys can hear it?
Mm-hmm. A little.
I'm sure you're going to hear some out of mine too. So
yeah. So getting our defensive rebuilding is the key to what's going to happen with us this season. We did bring in some veteran players. Tershawn Wharton, we brought him in that had Super Bowl rings. We brought in vets that are already winners. Bobby Brown III, of course, is going to be coming in playing along Pro Bowler Derek Brown. And then Trayvon Maureen, we got him as well. So getting that pass rush, getting the defense is where I'm looking at us heading. So now with that, we can switch gears and talk about these true second-year rookies of quarterbacks. Yes, Bistrella.
So this is how Bryce Young has progressed. Okay, he played 14 games last year. Okay, his completion percentage went up 1.1 from 60.9 from 59.8. His average passing attempts, his average is 6.3 to 5.5 of last year. He had 15 touchdowns to 11 last year. He had 29 sacks. He only got sacked 29 times this year in 14 games. That is exactly what has to happen for Bryce Young to be successful. He cannot be sacked.
Avoiding the sacks. That's what I was saying, scrambling.
Well, not just avoiding the sacks, but the offensive line actually has to block.
Well,
that's what they got to do. His rating went from 73.7 the year before to 82.2.
Yes, sir. So Look out, South.
And
quarterback rating.
Look out, South.
Quarterback rating went from 34.1, which is horrible. To 54.1. Right. So he went up 20 points in that. So yeah, he's got a lot of promise.
Thanks, Drilla, for doing that, for doing what I ain't even have to do. Like I said, look out South and look out everybody else. We coming.
It's the return of Webster. So yeah, we got a new season of Webster coming. I'm looking forward to it.
Says the one who has an uncertain quarterback. All right, guys. So now let's start off talking about the first rookie we're gonna look at is
I'm surprised you didn't say nothing to that.
I know.
No, please. I have to say to that. Come on. I mean, you just gave the stats, man. I'm just like, that's not great. That's nothing to talk about. We can start 0-0. I mean, come on. We didn't have nothing with Spencer Rattler. Nothing at all. He's got a lot now. Let's start this year.
He actually looked really good in some games.
I wasn't saying that they were the greatest stats. I'm just saying he improved from last year.
No. You're right. But yes, I'll take one plus one equals two.
Spencer Rattler actually looked good in a lot of the games that I saw him in. If they really with them,
he was 0-6. I thought he won one game at least.
I thought so.
Nah, he came close to it. It was the Washington. That was the Washington game when they came back and they missed a 2-point conversion. They could have beat them.
Speaking of Washington, Jaden Daniels is the first person we're going to talk about. Had one of the most prolific, impressive rookie seasons for a quarterback in recent history, y'all. If not ever, honestly. I mean, he displayed exceptional talent, calmness. Like, we never saw him lose his calm, and just a precision that nobody could have called. Anybody that banked on Washington running all the way up to the NFC Championship, like, that person really would have went all in, because nobody saw this. I don't know anybody personally that saw that. He was a dual threat on rushing contributions, and he was a transformative player as well, bringing a lot of optimism to the franchise. I mean, he reignited Washington, y'all, because for a while, I mean, we know that they got Dan Quinn, Strella. They got Dan Quinn, former head coach of Atlanta Falcons, who knew what going to the Super Bowl and the playoffs were like, but he had been to DC down in Dallas for a little bit. And we still didn't see that coming. Like, we did not see that coming. No one thought Dan Quinn for the win. And in truth, I know it's still painful fashion, they just assassinated the Lions. I was shocked. I could not believe that game was really happening the way it was, because I had the Lions. J-Train, you'll remember when we were talking with Mac, when we were talking about teams, and I was like, well, this is going to be the Lions. I said, the Lions, I see them in the Super Bowl as the NFC. And that was before they even I was like, this is a must-win season for them. And so to have the Commanders come out of nowhere, literally, was jarring. So we have to watch Jaden Daniels. Last season, rookie season, 3,568 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, 891 rushing yards, 14 turnovers. That's it for the whole season. 21.5 fantasy points per game. People racked up with him on their fantasy. This dude was an assassin. This year, we're looking at him to continue that. I mean, unlike C.J. Stroud down in Texas, most people don't really predict him having a sophomore slump. At least I don't. Not going as far as he did in the playoffs. He's poised to continue this ascent. Even though, like we said, some second-year quarterbacks, they do have this sophomore slump. I think that his composure under pressure and how he's played in clutch moments looks like he might be in it for the long haul and be sustainable in the long future. What do you guys think?
Well, in regards to actually thinking he was going to do something, I'm definitely one of those people. I'm a huge LSU fan. Watched him down there, I mean, when he played
with Washington, you thought he was going to do something?
Yeah, absolutely. I just didn't think that Washington would be winning. I didn't think they would win. But I thought he would be very, very successful as a quarterback individually, talented-wise. Mm-hmm. But I was truly surprised by them winning, because I didn't think they would have enough talent surrounding him. And honestly, they still didn't. So that tells you what type of player that you have as a quarterback. They got a gem. Not only a leader, man. I mean, he's a great player, excellent locker room guy, and like you said, a leader. And what he did at LSU, I was thinking, like, okay, let's see what he can do with lesser talent, because he wasn't all that great when he was at Arizona State. He was decent. He was decent. And when he got to LSU, he was okay the first year, but then he just progressed. The coaching helped. And this kid, they said this kid is a gym rat. He's there from sun morning. He goes early in the morning and he leaves and he studies film. He lives at the facility. And so that's what got him the Heisman Trophy the next year. And seeing him, what he did at Washington, I'm just not surprised. And I just think that the sky's the limit. But I'm always a person to say, teams now know who you are. Mm-hmm. They gunning for you. So that second-year sophomore slump is real. So I'm expecting him to regress a little, but not much. I think he's still going to be a great quarterback. I'm a little concerned in regards to whether or not Terry McLaurin will be still there as a player, because that's one of the guys that he really depended on. And I like Brian Robinson Jr. He's okay. I think they could have drafted another running back, but And I think, and Debo Samuel, I'm not sold on him being there because he left San Francisco, but he left San Francisco like with some of the worst numbers he's had, and he's injury prone. So I'm not really excited about him being there either. But we'll see how it works.
What do you think, Strilla?
Well, this dude is 6'4", 210 pounds. Again, from LSU. He threw 25 touchdowns during the regular season, 9 interceptions with a 70.6 QBR. The dude, let me tell you something. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. He's not going to regress. There's things that you see in players that that you don't see in any other players on the field that are rookies. He has leadership. The dude knows how to make good decisions. He's still a rookie, so of course he's going to make bad decisions every now and then. But the good outweighed the bad last season. I don't think he's going to regress at all. I think the team got better, even though we're still waiting on Scary Terry's thing going on. But if he stays, they're going to sign him. They're going to sign him. I mean, I don't know why Scary Terry would even have a problem. You're playing with one of the best rookie quarterbacks last year, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make a bold prediction. He's going to be better than Lamar.
Oh,
because he has leadership. Lamar has athleticism. That's what gets him through games. He don't really have all the leadership in the world. He has the athleticism, and he does have he's a good running quarterback. But Jaden Daniels, he's got the mindset, he's got the leadership ability, he can find targets downfield. And everybody says, I didn't see this coming. I saw this coming when they beat Philadelphia. When you beat Philadelphia, I saw it coming.
So you weren't surprised at the Arsenal attack against you guys?
I mean, we had a banged up defense. There was nobody. We lost Amik Robinson during the middle of that game. So we had like the second quarter, I think it was. So we had no defense. I knew that we had to stop the defense at least once to win the game. We couldn't stop the defense once. The offense was supposed to carry the defense. The offense screwed up. Goff had a horrible game. And when I knew this game was going to be probably over as soon as they went 3 and out the first drive. They could not go 3 and out. They could not punt any of the drives that they had. They had to go down the field and score. Jameer Gibson was running 7.5 yards per carry on that defense. It ain't like the Washington's defense was that great either. Okay? It was offense to offense. If Goff didn't mess up as much as he messed up, they would have won that game. They should have won that game. However, and Jaden Daniels, I'm not taking nothing away from Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels went out there and played like he was supposed to play. That dude was a cool cucumber out there. I was very impressed how he handled his playoff experience. And I know they went to Philadelphia and Philadelphia kicked their butts in that game. But Philadelphia had everything going on. Everything was clicking for Philadelphia right there. Washington, if you look at it, Washington barely got away from Detroit because, they won 45-31, but one of those touchdowns was a pick six. So it was really 38-31 if you look at the offensive output. So, I mean, I wasn't surprised that Washington won by how the Lions played. I did expect the Lions to win that game, but at the same time, I was mad at Goff more than anything else. I think Jaden Daniels played a hell of a game, though. He did really good. I think he's up there. I think he's going to be one of those upper echelon quarterbacks. He's going to be an elite quarterback.
Well, as we always say, the verdict is still out. This is a great time for us. Before we talk about our next player, let's take a 1 minute and 15-second break. Myself, Strilla, and J Train will be right back.
Yeah, yo, it's game time. Ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken. Stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.
And we're back. And happy 4th of July again. And happy birthday, B. Strilla. We're going to say that all week. We're going to hashtag it. Be Strilla all day. Strilla, we forgot to drop your Cash App yesterday. Can you drop your Crash App? Drop your Cash App. Yeah, we want y'all to crash it. We want it to be so much money in there. If everybody just spends whatever, $1, whatever.
Crash the Brink truck.
Crash the Brink truck. Make it drizzle at least, okay? You don't have to be a tsunami, but at least make it drizzle. He's gonna put his Cash App here, and we're gonna put it up here on the board here in a second. As soon as he drops it in, I think he put it in the comments.
Not yet.
Hi, Pete Fan First says hi, Lossie. Lossie got on his Falcons jersey today, only because he was born here. That's the only reason why is he wears a Falcons jersey. So Kevin, if you're watching, don't get your hopes up. He had to wear something red for the 4th. All right, guys. So, of course, shout out to the Huddle Sports Network, Elite Sports Entertainment Network, National Streaming Sports, and the 1A Cheek 3 Toes Productions, and everybody else. Friday Night with the Fellas. Welcome back, guys. Let's talk about our second person. And the verdict is definitely out on this, bro. Drake May, strong candidate for a breakout season. Patriots have prioritized building around him the entire offseason. The UNC alum, I mean, that's the only reason why I've been really tracking him. They hired Mike Vrabel up there, so that should be super helpful. And, of course, they got Josh McDaniels as their OC up there. And then let's not forget who they brought up there, Stephon Diggs and Morgan Moses, guys. They also invested heavily in the 2025 NFL draft with 4 offensive players in the first 100 picks. I mean, they just loaded up a bunch of old folks. And so this is a big step for them to try to make sure that they're building around him and giving him the tools that he needs to have a great second season. Your thoughts?
You want me to go first, Jay?
Yeah, you want to go first.
Okay. So he played 13 games last year. He had a 66.6 completion rating, completions percentage. That's bad. 66.6. 3 6s. Bad. Anyway.
Oh, goodness.
Yards, he had 2,276 with a 6.7 average, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He was sacked 34 times. That should be alleviated because they got a little bit better offensive line. And his rating was 88.1 with a QBR of 58.6. I do think that he'll be better this year. Drake is one of those players. He's also 6'4", 225 from North Carolina.
Yes, sir. Take your shirts off. Yes, Pink. He's got a Falcons jersey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's I don't think they're going to win that division. Buffalo, head and tail, is the best team in that division. But I do believe they're going to be in second place. They do have enough offense. I think Drake May is level-headed enough to play well and get that team to a playoff caliber season. Whether they advance in the playoffs or not, I don't know about that. But compared to Jaden Daniels, he doesn't have the leadership. I don't see that leadership quality yet. I do see the winning, making drives happen and winning games, but I don't see the leadership yet. And he's going to be a pretty good quarterback in this league. I'm just not sure he's going to be elite. He's going to be okay. In the second year, he should be better because he's got a better team around him, as long as Stephon Diggs doesn't do anything dumb, as like he was trying to do this summer. But anyway, he should be fine.
I mean, again, we bringing up Stephon Diggs. The jury's still out on whether or not he was just eating pop rocks. I mean, it was a little pink substance that's in the bag. We don't know what was in the bag.
Right. True.
I think
True.
I think Drake May is he was picked at a high number, and I thought he was a bit overrated. But when I saw him play with the limited talent that was around him, I think he's a. I have to stand corrected because I think he's talented. I think he's very talented. He just need help. He need a lot of help around him, including coaching. And I think there's going to be some stability in regards to coaching, as Mike Vrabel does have that history in Tennessee. He had not only stability as a head coach with leadership, I think winning as well. So there should be some winning in New England again. It may not be at the level of the championship 6 rings winning, but they definitely should have some stability in regards to in an upward trajectory in regards to winning. And it starts with having the smartest guy in the room, supposedly at your quarterback position. And I think Drake May will play well. He'll be better. Will he have a sophomore slump? I mean, he only has up from here because of how bad the first season was. Not all his fault. And so I like to see. I think there's going to be some progress there, and I like what Vrabel is what they're putting around him. And I think Stephon Diggs will be a safety blanket for him in regards to throwing the ball short, maybe like third down and getting first downs because he's a possession receiver at this point in his career. So
I think it's safe. Go ahead, Jay.
I like that, Jay.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, that's it. No, that was it. That's it. You're good.
I think it's safe to say we don't have to worry about no rings the next few years like we had to with Tom Brady. We can finally get a reprieve from seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Shirley, you want to add something?
No, I was just saying I agree with Jay Trey all the way. That was a good.
All right. The third person is kind of a tricky person a little bit. I mean, we didn't see a lot of this rookie at all. And so technically this is his first debut as a rookie, even though it's his second year. And that's none other than J.J. McCarthy of the Minnesota Vikings. 24-25 first season. Rookie performance, not extensively detailed at all. But he was selected number 10th, and I still believe he got bumped up because I think that Harbaugh bumped him up to, hyped him up, whatever, to get him drafted and for high expectations. And then he wasn't even a finished product, y'all. Like, we didn't even get a chance to see anything. And so he lacked the skills mentally and physically. Let's be clear, to be an NFL starter. So this season, we got to see him. I mean, they picked him 10th overall. He's expected to make a jump, but of course he has to. If he hasn't done much the first year, it's got to be a jump for the second year. And he's had a full year of development behind the scenes and a little bit more of experience than what he had coming out of college. So he's pretty confident, according to folks. He's confident in the offense for the Vikings. And they do have a good offensive line there. They have a good offensive infrastructure for the Vikings, the former Queens of the North. Sorry, guys, the Vikings, which should definitely help him out with progressing. And he's got to do better with his decision making this time. He's got to be able to leverage the tools he has more consistently. What are you guys' thoughts about JJ? I mean, is he going to show us the reason why he was picked number 10 finally?
Look, JJ McCarthy, as me and B. Shirley talked before the show, he hadn't shown anything because he didn't start the season. He got hurt instantly. And when you look back at how he was utilized in Michigan, he wasn't asked to do a lot. They ran the ball more than they threw the ball. When he did throw the ball, he actually did have really decent completion percentage rating. And he was actually a decent quarterback. But one thing I do like, and I think that there's a couple of stories here. When you allow someone like Sam Darnold to go, you must think you're comfortable with what you have in the room. And so you let Sam Darnold go. They let him get paid elsewhere. They didn't want to give him the money. They must be comfortable with J.J. McCarthy being their starter. And Kevin O'Connell, if he can do what he did with Sam Darnold, I think the sky's the limit for J.J. McCarthy there. And not only that, you're giving him the keys to a Lamborghini. He opened the door. He looks to his left. He's got Justin Jefferson. He looks to his right. He got Jordan Addison. He looks behind him. He's got Aaron Jones. And they added the kid out of San Francisco, the free agent, and Jordan Mason. So you got a combination of running backs. You got your wide receivers, and you got a decent offensive line. So if you are the problem, if you come out and lay an egg, it's really him, because there's no excuse. There's talent all around him. So I'm thinking Minnesota is probably going to be projected to be up there with Detroit again, because you can't. It's like you can't miss. I think Kevin O'Connell is going to give him a tailored offensive game plan to allow, because technically this is his rookie season. So he's going to give him a tailored game plan to allow him to be successful. But I do think that they'll be successful with him at the helm.
I mean, like we say, make or break. I kind of think in a little sense of the word, he's going to be in the same situation that Bryce Young is, make or break, because you came in, you already got injured off the rip. So you've got to show something. Like, you've got to put some stock out there, like he's part of the team. And if not, we might see the same situation that we're seeing with Anthony Richardson. That's just my thoughts on that. Let's go on over to someone who's proven. Oh, go ahead, Strilla.
So, yeah, because you didn't get my opinion on it.
First
of all, J.J. McCarthy won a national championship. Mm-hmm. Been in another championship run. Mm-hmm. So he knows what the pedigree is in championship playoff games or whatever the case. Now it's college, it's not pro football, granted. But he knows how to win. He's been part of a winning program. He's 6'3", 219 pounds from the University of Michigan.
A sexy beast.
And he like J Train said, he's got Kevin O'Connell there. He's quarterback whisperer. The dude has done great when he was with LA. He did great things with Goff there in his beginning of his career. And then he came over to Minnesota. They had Sam Darnold. They had Sam Darnold. He did great with Sam Darnold. I mean, nobody expected Sam Darnold to play like he did.
Right. Coming from Carolina, I was flabbergasted.
And J.J. McCarthy has a better team than Sam Darnold had last year, I believe. Their offensive line is vastly improved. They got two of the best offensive linemen from Indianapolis that played there. And Indianapolis had a pretty good offensive line there for a while, and they got two of their players. Come on. Then they got you, and the other player that J Train did not mention that he has a weapon as is Hawkinson. Hawkinson is going to be playing at the beginning of the season, and this time all the weapons are going to be there at the beginning of the season. Not like Addison. We're still waiting about Addison, but he should be there at the beginning of the season too. You got to remember last year Hawkinson didn't come back until I think it was week 8, so they had one of those weapons missing. I think they can put it all together. I think again they are going to be up there. They're going to be up there battling with the Lions for first place. This team just keeps getting better, and that's the reason why this division is so tough. All these teams are just trying to outdo each other and getting better, teams all around. So yeah, I see J.J. McCarthy doing well. He's got to play within himself. If you watch any of the Michigan games, I'm sure y'all weren't really watching.
I watched them. I watched them. I watched
plays within himself. When there was times when he had to win the game, he did it. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he wasn't he didn't carry the team all the time. They had a running game for that. The running game was great, and they had a pretty good defense too. But when it came time for him to make plays, he made those plays. Now, Tom Brady, he ain't. Okay, so there's no comparison there. But he is a capable quarterback, and like J Train said, he's got the keys to the Lambo. Mm-hmm. So it's his to drive. He can't be crashing it into the wall. And like I said, and the best thing that Minnesota did too, they got Sam, what's his face from Seattle to compete against him, and I thought that was a very good trade. So JJ's really going to have to step his game up step his playing up during training camp and during the season if he makes, he's the number one quarterback. So Sam Howell, that's who the guys. And so I mean,
JJ, don't Rasheed Rice your car.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't Rasheed Rice your car. All right, let's move on over a little bit. There's no doubt that we're all going to agree on this last player. Bo Nix was an ideal match for Sean Payton out there with the Denver Broncos. I mean, he had a quick strike offense, and he excelled in a lot of areas on the field. I had him on my fantasy. He was getting me like 50-plus points every game. Literally, like, I was super excited. He kept me in the playoffs very well with my fantasy league I had going. And he was very good at getting the ball out quickly, like very quick snaps, very accurate underneath pressure. He consistently took check downs, and as much as he could, as the season progressed, he got even more and more. He grew even more comfortable. He never looked nervous. He was very confident in taking shots downfield, which helped the Broncos reach the postseason. Despite some early struggles with some turnovers he had 4 interceptions in the first 2 games alone. He immediately started showing significant improvement in his game. He had 3,454 passing yards, according to CBS Sports, 3,775 passing yards, according to Dynasty Nerds, 25 touchdowns, 33 total for Dynasty Nerds. They had CBS Sports had him at 25, 12 interceptions, so about half and half with turnovers, interceptions, what have you, but a 65.1 completion rate. And he also rushed for around 430 yards. Now, in this next season, he's positioned to continue his success. I don't see him having a sophomore slump with the way Sean Payton has built around him in the offseason as well. This system works for what Sean already has. Sean is known as the quarterback whisperer. He's nurtured this guy and brought him in and cultivated him to have a great success here with the Broncos and a great NFL career. And I just think the more experience that Nix gains, he's going to be even more efficient. I mean, those turnovers are going to be less. His confidence is going to continue to get better and better. And if he stays healthy with the continuity of the coaching staff and the offensive scheme that they already have, I mean, he's just going to continue to build on what they already have. What are your thoughts, guys? I'll start with you, Strilla.
Bo Nix, 6'2", 217 pounds from the
Another
University of Oregon.
Sexy beast.
And he, well, I don't know where these stats are coming from, but NFL.com has him at 3,775 yards this season. He had 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I said the second one, 3,000. So CBS had 334.54, but the other site had 3,775. So
yeah, I try to
find
NFL.com before
CBS tried to shortchange him. That's why you got to look at more than one site, like we're doing right here.
But anyway, so I mean, under Sean Payton, a lot of people say a lot of things about Sean Payton. I just think Sean Payton is still a very good coach, and this proves. I mean, Dan Campbell is his underling. Sean Payton is his mentor. So with that being said, you got to look at it. Bo Nix, he did have a rough first couple of games, but then he just started soaring. I mean, a dude had a 93.3 rating. He was beating some teams too.
That's what made me pick it for my fantasy when I saw that.
And again, Denver got better this year too. I would not be surprised either. They're in the hunt for the first place in that division, or win a division. I think Kansas City took a step back. I don't care about they still got Patrick Mahomes.
Don't nobody care about.
There's 21 other players on that team.
Don't nobody care about Gonzo.
That's Gonzo. You call him Gonzo. Everybody calls him.
I've always.
But anyway, that's another Muppet. Whatever.
Yeah, guys, I can't believe we got beat by the Broncos.
But anyway, I just think that he's going to be a better. He's not going to have a sophomore slump either this year. I don't believe. As long as Sean Payton's back there, he's going to be A-okay. I actually see his ceiling going a little bit more than Drake May's, because he's going to have. I'm just by coaching, period. Sean Payton's going to have that guy ready to go. So
yeah, I would agree with that. I just think that I'm in a little bit of a disagreement with regard to what's built around him. I like Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims, but I didn't see any other like breakout wide receiver that they picked up. They got a guy in the third round for out of Illinois, but again, unproven. I just didn't see anybody. I think they could have got somebody in the first round. They drafted RJ Harvey out of UCF, the running back, and so that should help them with their running game. But I don't know. There may be a potential. There is a potential of a slump because I just didn't see, not because of Bo Nix's level of talent. Like you said, there's a ceiling there. I think I agree with you regarding the ceiling being a little bit higher than Drake Mays, but the talent that around him, I didn't see anything that's like special that said that they're going to be more successful. Because again, all these quarterbacks, every team knows who you are now. They're going to come at you, and I just want to see. I'll be interested to see how he does against these big defenses. And I'm still until Kansas City gets put down. I still got them as the AFC West team to beat. So we'll see.
They didn't
but
even
they still got an offensive line.
even,
They still got an offensive line, though.
That's about it, honey. The only thing Travis Kelce running around and looking like Knight at the Roxbury. Other than
But
that,
they still got to the Super Bowl, man. They still got to the Super Bowl.
They didn't even show up at that Super Bowl.
It don't matter. I'm just saying they got there. But I'm forget the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the team coming out of the division. I don't know if it's Denver. I just don't know. I like Sean Payton. I love Sean Payton.
I don't
But
know if it's Denver. I don't know if it's Denver either.
I didn't see anything that says this is gonna put them over the top what they've done in the off season and in their draft.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I don't think Denver is gonna be over the top of Kansas City, but I just don't see in a separate note, I don't see Kansas City being that team that goes back to the Super Bowl again. I just don't see that. I'm not saying it's gonna be Denver at all by any long shot, because they still got some maturation to go, but they have the right tools. Give them a couple of years, as much as I don't want to say it, because they're the team that beat us in the Super Bowl, and I don't care for Sean Payton. There you have it. Last quarterback we'll talk about. Wow, I timed this perfectly.
There's two quarterbacks. There's two more.
I have Michael Penix Jr. as the
next. And Caleb Williams.
And Caleb Williams. Okay, so yeah. So I was gonna do Caleb Williams kind of last because, well, let's go ahead and get Caleb Williams. The Michael Penix. Well, we could do Michael Penix Jr. real quick. I have Caleb Williams, but I'll tell you why I picked him last when we get to him. Okay, let me just give you guys the first thing. Michael Penix Jr. basically stole Kirk Cousins' job. That's my opinion. He's 8th overall. I don't even know why he was picked 8th overall. He came into the draft with an injury of every quadrant of his body. He's unproven. He was he only had 7. Well, he got limited play last year once they benched Cousins after paying him $1 billion. He had 775 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So to me, you have not proven anything. You've got a lot to prove this next season. They're not going to cut him loose, though, because that's who they picked. This, in my opinion, is not even his second rookie season. It's really more like his first real season. What are you guys' thoughts?
For one, I'm going to say I know he got hurt, like you said, in every quadrant of his body. I agree. But he's been healthy for the past 3 seasons. And those 2 seasons in Washington were unreal. My man put up almost 5,000 yards each season. And he's legit. He's a legit quarterback. And if I'm in the NFC South, I am a little bit afraid because they got a team built for him ready already. I don't like Pitts. Pitts probably going to be on a trading block, seems like. But Drake London, we got Darnell Mooney, all those guys, Bijan Robinson catches the ball out of the backfield. Pitts, I mean, he only played, like you said, the last few games.
They talking about trading Pitts.
Yeah, for sure. Right, exactly. But I mean, it's neither here nor there because Pitts was the Pitts, a smelly Pitts, or whatever you want to call him. He was just garbage. And I just think that
the rest of the team.
But I'm not going to say they're garbage. They're not garbage. But the rest of that offensive, they got some talent on their offense. And Michael Penix Jr., if he gets time, if that offensive line holds up, he'll carve you up. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I think there's a potential for that this season.
Hello to Luca. Sorry I missed your comment. He said Vance Joseph's defense carried the team, talking about Denver to the playoffs. Bo is bottom tier and will regress. Who's he throwing it to? Wow. Okay. We respect that. We address that. Let's Strilla, your thoughts on MP?
Well, he played 5 games last year, so it's really not a lot to go on. Mm-hmm. I mean, he threw for 775 yards, 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. He had a 78.9% quarterback rating. I mean, really, the underrated thing about Atlanta is there's 2 things about Atlanta that prevents them from being that powerhouse in that division. First of all, their offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. Their offensive coordinator. I don't even know who the offensive coordinator is. Who's the offensive coordinator for Atlanta?
Child.
Anyway, no, it's a guy out of LA. Yes, I forgot it. Los Angeles. I forgot his name. He came with the coach. The coach brought him over, and he was highly touted. So we'll see. I don't know.
Well, maybe that might change the whole situation because last year their offensive coordinator was crap. Second of all, their offensive line is very underrated. Their offensive line was top 10 in the league last year. You know that? Top 10. So it's the offensive coordinator. It's the offense that has to be rebuilt because Penix is not going to be able to do anything if the offense is going to be rebuilt. So, I mean, Pitt's a lot of his struggles because they don't get him the ball, and they think he's just a red zone threat. And when you have
every game I've seen him in person, and he was dropping the ball. I've seen several Falcon games. I went to at least 4 games last season. He dropped so many passes during the game.
He's overrated, man. I'm just telling you, he's an overrated tight end.
I saw him, and he got booed.
I mean, you can get that. That's fine. But when you have a bad offensive coordinator and you have a defensive-minded coach, that don't bode well for a team at all. So,
but it should for a tight end, honestly, because that's the safety blanket for the quarterback. Usually, when you run the ball a lot.
If you have a capable offensive coordinator, that's what I'm saying. If you don't have an offensive coordinator that's capable, it's not going to happen. Okay, and it just
Okay, so,
go ahead.
Okay,
we probably won't be able to talk about.
We literally got a minute and a half to talk about Caleb Williams. I'm just going to give you guys the real version real quick. So sorry, guys, I did under time that one. The Bears, Caleb Williams made significant efforts to improve his supporting cast. They got Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson, Drew Dahlman, and better protection. What do you guys think about him having a breakout season this year? You think it's going to be better for him?
He should.
Yeah, I mean, the weapons are there. And ultimately, I think coaching is there. That's really what's going to make a difference with Ben Johnson and having Roma Dunze, having Luther Burden III, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, and Loveland out of Michigan. You're being handed the keys to a Lamborghini. I think this guy is going to drive it. I think this is where you see somebody throwing 4,500 yards or 5,000 yards a season.
Yeah.
This is what is going to happen.
You agree, Strilla?
He'll finally be the quarterback that gets over 4,000 yards for the Bears, who have never had a 4,000-yard quarterback. That's sad.
Right.
And they've been to 2 Super Bowls. That's pretty sad. But I think he's going to do a lot better. I'm not going to give too many kudos to Ben Johnson as a head coach, but he definitely is going to get that offensive line, that offense together because he is an offensive genius. And he did address what they needed to get addressed on the offseason was that offensive line. So as long as that happens, this is Caleb's job to lose. Caleb's in the front seat now. Yeah. He can't be sitting there talking about, I got sacked 75 times last season because that's about what he got sacked last season. He's looking more at the in the air above Soldier Field than he was anywhere else. But as long as they keep him clean, he should be fine. He's got the weapons. He's got the offensive line. I think the defense is okay, but it don't make a difference. I think he's going to definitely take a step forward this year. He better.
All right, guys, and we got to get ready to wrap up. Steve-O, sorry you got on too late for us. So you're going to address that. We were talking NFL tonight. Thank you, everybody, for the likes, loves, and comments. Strilla, you're going to take us out of here. Everybody have a great 4th. We'll see you tomorrow morning on the debate show. J-Train, B. Strilla, and Jack. Good night.
Winner lose a man a winner, and that's for certain. Never take no program, come me and me own dance. So me go and shut down. Tell them man a winner, yeah. Knock up, don't turn in a sinner.